Hello and welcome to KXII 12 News Now. My name is Robin Key. Now it is currently 12:30 on this Thursday, September 24th. Thank you for joining us for your midday news update. Now, news that came out last night sending waves throughout Oklahoma. Oklahoma State School Superintendent Ryan Walters says he is resigning. Walters made the announcement last night on Fox News. He says he's stepping down to become the leader of the Teacher Freedom Alliance, an organization that he's used taxpayer money to promote in the past, according to the Oklahoman. Walters says that the organization's mission is to destroy teachers' unions and to align school curriculum with American exceptionalism. Once Walters officially resigns, the governor will appoint a new superintendent to fill out the rest of Walters' term, which will end in January of 2027. Now, there is new information, a big story out of Dallas. Now, this is about the suspect in the deadly shooting at an immigration and customs enforcement office in, like I said, Dallas. Officials say that the alleged shooter targeted the facility yesterday using ammunition that had anti-ICE messaging written on it. The gunfire hit 3 people who had been detained, killing one of them and critically wounding the others. The suspect was later found dead, and officials are still trying to learn why he did it. Now, again, we usually don't do longer packages here, but this is a really important story, and Omar Villafranca is at the scene, so we're going to see everything straight from him.
The FBI is investigating this incident as an act of targeted violence.
Department of Homeland Security officials say a sniper perched himself on a rooftop and opened fire on an ICE field office in Dallas early Wednesday morning. This woman captured the shots while on a video call nearby. Officials say the gunman shot 3 detainees in a van just outside the building, killing 1. No ICE agents were injured. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons.
There was no way he could have known detainees were in that vehicle. He was just indiscriminately shooting, hoping to cause some carnage and mayhem, and it was at an ICE facility.
Lyons identified the shooter, who was found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, as 29-year-old Joshua John. Court records in Texas show he pleaded guilty in 2016 on a narcotics charge involving marijuana. Law enforcement was seen scouring homes in North Texas and Oklahoma linked to the gunman. The FBI pointed to a possible motive.
Early evidence from rounds that were found near the suspected shooter contain messages that are anti-ICE in nature.
As the Trump administration has doubled down on immigration enforcement, DHS says attacks against ICE agents have increased by around 1,000% since the president took office, including the bomb threat just last month at this same facility. This violence may also have a chilling effect on immigrants who are pursuing legal status.
What does this do to the migrant community in this area?
Very scary. I know a number of immigrants are going to be a lot more hesitant to make these check-ins, to go down to the courthouse.
Lyons says his concern is for everyone's safety.
One person being killed is one too many. We can't have this going on at ICE facilities.
We don't know the victims' names yet, but the Mexican consulate says one of the victims who was injured was a Mexican citizen. In a social media post, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem ordered increased security at ICE facilities and detention centers nationwide. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Dallas.
Now, those homes in North Texas and Oklahoma that we spoke about, those were in Texoma. The alleged shooter has a tie here in Durant. Yesterday, there was a large law enforcement presence at a residency on the north side of the city. Now, this is believed to be tied to John. FBI and ATF personnel and vehicles flooded the property, including one that appeared to have a battering ram style arm on the front. Now, as we learn more, we will bring the information straight to you, of course. Hopefully, we will have more information tonight at 6, but you can always check our website for the latest information. Now, more information about the high-speed chase we spoke about yesterday. If you were here with us yesterday, we went live from the scene where the Oklahoma Highway Patrol had were working on a high-speed pursuit that was happening there. We now have more information. For example, the Highway Patrol has confirmed that one man is dead. Now, that highway chase did end on Highway 199 in Dickinson. OHP says a vehicle was reported stolen to the Sulphur Police Department. With help from the Murray County Sheriff's Department, they located the vehicle and tried to make contact with the driver, 34-year-old Blake Bircher from Ingle. He drove off, leading to a high-speed chase down 77 towards Dixon, where the truck came to a stop and the suspect shot himself.
The suspect previously had been brandishing that he had a weapon. He had already contacted the Murray County Sheriff's Department, advising them that he did have a weapon.
The incident shut down that stretch of highway for several hours yesterday. Now, in Texoma, we have been battling a lot of storms. Cleanup efforts are still underway after Tuesday night storms specifically. Those really did some damage in Bryan County. Through the damage, though, one major tragedy sticks out after one person was electrocuted. The Martins were amongst those who lost power in Bennington. Yesterday morning, a power line was on the road near their home.
Power lines been the biggest problem, laying on the road and getting by it, and then sparks this morning with the lineman working on it.
In the most recent update, the victim, a lineman who is an independent contractor, was stable, thankfully. A hospital in Oklahoma evacuated its patients after a severe storm ripped off the building's roof. Speaking of damage, the storm hit Tuesday evening, just like a lot of Texoma was hit, damaging close to 40% of Northeastern Health System Hospital in the city of Salazar. Up to 2 inches of rain fell per hour in west central Arkansas and nearby Leflore County, Oklahoma. Emergency crews worked through the night, discharging and transferring patients to nearby facilities. There were no reports of injuries to patients or staff. Now, on yesterday, most of the hospital's operations were functioning with a fully operational ER. Now, in connection with the storms, like we've been talking about, hail swept through Texoma the last few days, leaving many homes with damage. However, not all contractors out fixing roofs are reputable. Local companies say that if they ask for things like insurance checks or signatures on interest forms, they're most likely scammers. Another sign is if they come knocking on your door. We spoke with one roofing company who says that this is a tactic that's generally frowned on.
Most cities are actually banning it and making it illegal to go door to door, but companies are doing it anyway. That's why, another reason why I would just be real careful.
Now, companies say to always do your own research before hiring anybody, especially when there's a lot of damage happening like this. Now, the Lomar County Sheriff's Office is warning about a new scam going around. Speaking of possible scammers in the area, this one targets DirecTV customers. They say a scammer will call, text, or email someone pretending to be with the company. They'll offer special deals or bill reductions and demand payment up front, usually with gift cards or prepaid cards. Now, if you get one of these messages, hang up or delete the messages and do not give out your personal information. Now, we have so much more news for you. After this, we are going to be going regionally and then nationally, talking about some major breakthroughs in health and then also what is happening up there in DC. So do not go away, because even after all of that regional and national news, we will be bringing it back to Texoma for our community corner. So stay with us. Do not exit out. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back to KXII 12 News Now. We're going to start with some important news from around the country, and we're going to start with some health news. Now, there may be some hope for those living with Huntington's disease. A new experimental gene therapy was found to slow the progression of the disease. Drug maker Acquire announced the results of the early stage trial on Wednesday. The patients were treated with either low or high doses of the gene therapy. The company says that patients who received the high dose saw disease progression slow by 75%. After 3 years, by 75% after 3 years. Now, there's currently no treatment that can cure, stop, or reverse Huntington's, but some of the symptoms can be treated. Now, this new study is incredible and a big breakthrough, but it is important to note that it has not been published and it has not yet been peer-reviewed. But it will be very interesting to watch more of what they're able to do with this study as it goes on. Now, President Trump is expected to sign a new executive order on a TikTok deal. The move would clear a path to let U.S. investors buy about 80% of the platform's U.S. assets. Trump says that he has already spoken with the Chinese government about the agreement, which still needs regulatory approval. Congress passed a bill last year that banned the app in the United States over national security concerns, but the president has delayed implementation of the bill several times and is expected to pause or extend the pause for another 120 days until the deal is finalized. Now, Friday is National Pancake Day, and Cracker Barrel is offering customers all-you-can-eat pancakes for $5 at all of its 660 locations. But that's not the only offer from the griddle. Cracker Barrel calls itself the unofficial sponsor of the Pancake Block, and to honor the football movie, people who wear their favorite team's jersey or bring the same-day game ticket will get a free side of pancakes with an entree purchase throughout October. Cracker Barrel is trying to bounce back from a slump earlier this year that was linked to the national uproar after the company made a logo change. Now, another restaurant or food place that you might want to keep your eye on, Starbucks is closing more stores and announcing a second round of layoffs at its headquarters in an effort to revive its struggling business. Today, CEO Brian Niccol said that the company will shut down hundreds of stores this month, roughly 1% of its locations. Starbucks also revealed an additional 900 corporate layoffs, in addition to the roughly 1,000 previously announced layoffs in February. It's a big deal if you are a Starbucks fan. Maybe check if the location near you is closing down. If it is, we would love to hear about it. But another big corporate giant who you may not expect to see in the news right now, at least not in the struggling variety, Morgan & Morgan versus Disney. That's right. The personal injury law firm is suing the entertainment giant to get a ruling on whether it can use characters from the 1928 animated short Steamboat Willie in an animated ad campaign. It wants to use the original versions of Mickey and Minnie Mouse. The cartoon's copyright expired in 2024, apparently putting it into the public domain. However, Disney still has trademarks on the later versions of the characters. The federal lawsuit says the firm asked Disney whether it would sue them for intellectual property right violations if they used the original characters. It says Disney declined to say whether it would take legal action or not, so now the firm wants a court order saying the ads would not violate any of Disney's copyrights, thus blocking Disney from suing them. It'll be interesting to see what the courts do about this. However, that's not the only reason that Disney is in a hot water. More than 100 former ABC News journalists are urging Disney CEO Bob Iger to stand firm against President Trump. In a letter sent to Iger on Wednesday, the journalists are calling on him to defend free speech and press freedom against what they describe as political intimidation. The letter was first drafted when ABC suspended Jimmy Kimmel Live last week, but the revised version commended Iger for bringing back Kimmel on Tuesday. The signees went on to say that Disney has the responsibility to stand firm in the defense of democratic values, writing, quote, "The First Amendment is not negotiable," unquote. The letter also argued ABC's settlement with Trump last year emboldened him to escalate his attacks. Some of the signees include Sam Donaldson, Judy Mueller, and the widow of the late anchor Peter Jennings. Now, 2 high-level Justice Department employees are accused of violating a federal judge's order limiting public opinions about the prosecution of accused killer Luigi Mangione. A federal judge has given the Justice Department until the end of next week to explain how the alleged violations happened. The employees are accused of reposting President Donald Trump's statements about the case on social media. The judge says any further violations of her order could result in sanctions, including fines, contempt of court findings, or actions specific to the case. The judge also said that she would consider the president's comments separately when she takes up a motion challenging the death penalty. Mangione is charged in the fatal shooting of the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, last year in New York City. The 27-year-old has pleaded not guilty. Additional information about the late Jeffrey Epstein has been handed to the House Oversight Committee. The Epstein estate, complying with the subpoena, turned over another batch of documents to officials. They included a spreadsheet of handwritten messages, plus emails, flight logs, and cash transactions. Transaction ledgers, in fact. The estate has asked the committee to hold back on releasing information to the public until a review of potential redactions can be made. Some high-profile Republicans have been pushing to prevent more information about the convicted sex offender from being released. We'll see if that happens. The Trump administration is threatening mass firings if Congress does not avert a government shutdown in less than a week. Congress has until next Wednesday to pass a budget bill to keep the government funded. According to an Office of Management and Budget memo, departments are advised to consider sending reduction of force notices for programs, projects, and activities that lose funding and do not align with the president's priorities. Congressional Democrats have described the memo as intimidation. Now, we will be right back with more news that's happening here in Texoma. Everything that you need to know to be a in-the-loop member of the Texoma community will be happening right here, right after this break. So do not exit out, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to KXII 12 News Now. It is time for your Community Corner. Everything you need to know as part of the Texoma community right here. Tom Bean ISD is proposing a $22 million bond in November's election. The proposition includes updates to several of the classrooms and facilities like football locker rooms. This has been something that parents have been pushing for a long time. To learn more about the bond and see it really broken down, you can visit our website, KXII.com. The Ardmore Main Street Authority recognized a local family recently. The new downtown parking plaza has been dedicated to D. Allen Witt and family. This is an entirely free parking lot that the City of Ardmore, the S. Main Street Authority, and the Witt family made possible. I love free parking, so thank you very much to all of those people. Another big celebration or award recognition that happened recently, 4 members of Atoka County law enforcement were recognized recently by the Oklahoma Attorney General. Stringtown Police Detective Gary Cawley, Atoka County Sheriff Cody Simpson, Atoka County Lieutenant Jimmy Taylor, and Stringtown Police Officer Aaron Thomas have won the Southeast Region titles for Outstanding Oklahoma Officer of the Year. This is for their acts of bravery during a high-speed chase in May. Thank you all for your service in the Texoma community. The State Fair of Texas is basically here. The fair kicks off tomorrow morning in Dallas. You'll want to be familiar with the new security policies and changes, though, before heading to the fair park. There is now a clear bag policy in place, but it can be any size. The fair says that this will expedite the security lanes in the park, and so you'll get in faster. Of course, no weapons will be allowed on the grounds. And then there's also a new policy for minors. Starting at 5 p.m. daily, anyone under 17 years old has to have a parent or chaperone with them. Gates open at 10 tomorrow morning. The fair will run through October 19th. That's not the only hot ticket in town, though. Check out the rodeo out Southeastern Oklahoma State University in Durant. The festivities are at the Bryan County Fairgrounds starting today. 550 college rodeo students from both Kansas and Oklahoma will be performing. Shows start at 7 tonight and Friday, with the finals starting at 2 p.m. Saturday. Best of luck to all of the competitors. That's a big deal. Now, if you have enjoyed this KXII 12 News Now, we will be here tomorrow, same time, 12:30, same place, any of our KXII live streams, and on YouTube Live. But still, you want more right now? Well, Channel 12 thankfully has a lot of content that you can appreciate. You can tune in later today for the 4, 5, 6, and 10, get updates on all of the local stories that we talked about here, and then all of your big regional and national updates. Want all of these stories in more detail? Well, just like I said earlier, go to KXII.com to find all of our full reporting. Also, don't forget to follow us on our socials. That's Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, TikTok, and of course, YouTube. There you'll find constant updates, exclusive content, and all of our stories, old and new. But until tomorrow, Texoma, I hope that you will go ahead and follow me on my page, Robin Key TV, along with our KXII page on Facebook, KXII. But still, I hope to see you tomorrow. Until then, have a very nice day, Texoma.